I'll concede your point just for brevity, but
What? Brevity? We don't do that around here. It's probably
No.
citrus, or what is a Capital One Bowl? It used to be Citrus Bowl, right? Yeah,
oh my
Capital
God,
One.
dude, where have you been?
I just like the real name.
It hasn't been the Citrus Bowl since like, what, 2002?
What was your highlight side dish from Thanksgiving?
Oh gosh, Scotch.
This is the Buck Around, the podcast devoted to all things Wisconsin Badger football from a fan perspective. Featuring your hosts, Richard Branch and Maxwell Brusky.
And hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Buck Around. Welcome back to episode 355 of the Buck Around. I am one half of said Buck Around, Richard Branch, and I am joined by my disciplined colleague, Maxwell Brusky. Max, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I don't hear that often.
Well, you know why you're disciplined? You sound right. As I told you, and as you can see, one half of the Buck Around is traveling this week, which would be my half of the Buck Around. And this half of the Buck Around did pack his microphone to be prepared to record said podcast, but he forgot to pack. Oh, maybe I'll do this. He forgot to pack his microphone stand. Yeah. So I'm here holding the microphone. I look like those video like maybe that's us. That's us tiptoeing towards the video podcast age where they all they hold the mic and they're like,
They'll hold the mic.
yeah. So what are your thoughts on
It's portable. You're portable.
I have recorded in remote locations with this mic before. I just remember the stand.
Well, in
for some
that
reason.
particular remote location.
Yeah, well, but this sort of like adds a new vibe to the show. Like if I just talk like doesn't it?
Well,
Like
only if you make it such.
is this making you
It
uncomfortable?
clearly is imparting a different vibe to you.
Max, you're blushing. Are you uncomfortable right now?
It's cracking me up.
If I talk this way, the rest of we could do 45 minutes like this. Is this cool?
I don't think we can. I can barely look you in the eye.
I know you were looking uncomfortable, but this is my apology to everyone in advance. If my levels are going like this a lot, I'm going to do my best to be disciplined. But if I'm a bit of a mess, I promise you I'm aware.
You're fine if you just stop messing around with this.
Max, I can't sit still. That's my problem. Like, I think right here I'm good.
It sounds fine.
Okay, but my arm is propped up. It's like I got like a 30-degree angle to the desk. Like, I have to be rigid and still. I can't move. Like, if I move over here, it changes, or it changes here. I'll do my best. I'm just saying to the listeners in advance, thank you for your patience, and I apologize. Yeah. So should we get into spring practice?
I think we should. Like, it's that professional. You care about the listeners that much that we just spent that much time on.
Yeah. To say that I sound terrible.
I mean, that's caring, man.
Apparently. Well, and I'm sharing. So here we are. So let's get to fall camp, Max. So, last time we recorded, we were going through we're not recording as often lately, but why is that? And blah, 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 blah. And then one of the things I said, we're still doing the 5 things you watch in spring, 5 things you watch in fall. And then we didn't do a 5 things we watched in fall.
No, we did not.
And I feel like I missed nothing by not doing it. Even though you and I thought I should have articulated we talked about it. Yeah. But why do you think we had nothing to watch in fall? Nothing after spring where you're
so new and different. Well,
is it?
I shouldn't say different, but new. There's no 9-4 season where you're looking to go 10-11 wins. I think they got the guys this year to do it. There's nothing like that. Don't have that.
The things we were looking for in the spring, defensive linemen, all that stuff. Fickle seems to claim he's got a rotation. I mean, he seems in his availabilities to say he's probably going to be 8 deep there and da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay.
If you see who's getting the snaps, I guess you could say that. It's just, you just don't know how good they're going to be or bad.
Exactly.
There's too many unknowns.
Yeah.
Which is what I mean by new.
Yeah, and is there anything you would say that you are looking for that's different from spring, other than things like Kevin Haywood tore his ACL? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing?
No, not really. And it's weird too, because like all the stuff if you're following along,
Uh-huh.
okay, you're getting snaps and who's getting snaps, but are they that much different than anyone expected outside of Mason Riger? I mean, because he wasn't available, right?
Right.
And he seems to be like the story so far, or one of the big stories so far. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like other than that, like who's getting the number one snaps and who's getting the number one and two snaps? Is it any different than you expected?
No, and it seems to be zeroing in pretty. I mean, the only thing that's different for me is I really thought Agard was sort of on the Hallman side. And Scanes, like I saw with Hallman sitting there playing that Kara Scanes guy.
Right.
And so it's like true freshman. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you don't hear a lot about Deanna Hill either.
No.
And you saw him. I mean, clearly he's getting snaps, but there's not the Agard and Skeens are getting a lot more. They're bigger in the word cloud.
Well, I mean, I feel like I've seen in it's Hill and Agard sort of, 50-50 at this point. So but to your point, like that's what we expected, right? I guess to a degree.
That too.
Like Hill
Yeah.
was expected, who else is it gonna be?
And I don't know. It's this. It's kind of. It's just the same thing that you're not. And all you're doing with the new stuff is projecting, right?
I mean, that's what we're always doing, but I feel like what it is we have no idea. We have nothing to project off of.
I can't wait to see Braylon Allen this year, preseason All-American. There's nothing like that.
What I'm getting at is there's nothing to extrapolate off of. I think would maybe a better word. Is like you were trying to take like, okay, I've seen these guys to this point and I expect improvement and, further honing in the direction they're going. Whereas this team, you feel like it's an all new offense, it's an all new defense, kind of a lot of the same bodies. Yes, some portal guys, but it's like, I don't get how they, how do you make a jazz band if you don't have the musicians? And you're like, okay, how are they going to make this jazz band a jazz band?
Well, I feel like they have the musicians. It's Miles and Coltrane ain't walking through that door.
It's a lot of studio guys if we're going to really strain this thing. You trying to make a super group out of studio guys, maybe?
Guys.
Maybe. We'll see.
I don't know. It worked for Led Zeppelin.
All right. Okay. I don't know. I don't know Led Zeppelin lore, and we don't need to go into it. But let me get to my first question for you. At this point, what is your comfort level at left tackle if it seems like, because it sort of feels this way, like Davis Heinzen and the way the coach is like watching availabilities and the way it's been explained, he is pretty close to being the guy that they're going to say is the starting left tackle.
So comfort level, I guess it would be I would be more excited if it was Kevin Haywood, because Kevin Haywood would be one of the few guys that you would be like, oh, I'm waiting for the big year, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say for Heinzen, I'm cautiously optimistic. And my guess is that I think Heinzen will probably be okay in those first two games, and then you really find out what you got against Alabama.
The only thing it tells me, I feel like, if you're bringing in, a 1-year guy like this, who's probably best available post spring type thing, I guess your line is a year off. Like we've talked about before, like, well, where it feels like they've had like a plan and a logic to the recruiting, the offensive line has felt like that. But when you heard, I think Fickle 2 days ago was talking, and he said, guys like Ryan Corey are a year off, and I forget the other name he mentioned in that availability.
That's Cubberly, I think.
Yes, Cubberly. Thank you. Like when you hear those things, it's like, yeah, like they're not quite there schedule wise. So this is plugging the hole, and it's JP Benchwall, who seems like he's going to be a swing guy, and is it just put Joe Brunner out there because he's like they have the most confidence in him, I think, of any lineman. That's the vibe I get.
Well, you know what's funny about that though is that if you had Kevin Haywood, I'd be a lot more excited, because you're looking at Malman, Joe Brunner, Jake Renfro, and then right guard's a little open, but
the way I'd put it is the line would feel on schedule.
Sure.
And this just throws them off schedule because they don't really have an answer for the loss of Haywood.
It just stinks, because that's probably that was probably the one guy you couldn't afford to lose outside of quarterbacks, right? But that was like the one guy. Like, these guys just can't catch a break, this administration.
Exactly. All right, which this leads me to a question from one of our listeners, beloved
All right.
Pancake Pete.
We are ready.
Pancake Pete sends a missive that says, longtime listener, of course. You know what? Wait. Since I have the handout, I'm going to read them all like this. Is this okay? Because I kind of like it.
No, go back to the other way.
Pancake Pete says, it's like he's writing this in soft focus.
Well, I like it how you have it on the agenda here. It's in the smallish font.
Yeah, I don't know why they're all different fonts. Don't ask me. Longtime listener, of course. And I've noticed a specific pessimism from the show around the Badger tight ends, especially Lance Mason. It's understandable, especially given the clumsiness around the Koziol departure. Good riddance, Tanner. But I think Mason is going to surprise some people, especially Rich. First, I don't think he's as undersized as Rich has mentioned. He's listed at 6'4", but he looks physical and filled out on camp highlights. Additionally, I liked his highlights. He seems like a more complete tight end than Koziol, a willing blocker who can be a threat in the passing game, whereas Koziol essentially only was a receiving threat. It's also worth noting that the quality of his former conference, the Missouri Valley, really isn't much different than the MAC. Some even think there's better football there than the MAC. I'm on the train. This could be more eloquently presented, but my money is on Mason having a big impact on this team and surprising people as a complete tight end. How did you like my reading, first off?
Well, I was going to say it might have been more eloquently presented, but I'm not sure if it could be more elegantly presented. I know that, at least for me, I mean, it kind of is what it is. You don't know anything about Mason. He's making a pretty big jump from the Missouri Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And like you just talked about with Heinsohn, he's a spring transfer, not a plan A transfer.
He is not a plan A transfer.
Probably, maybe even not a plan B. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know how you can go any further than cautiously optimistic. It's the same thing with Heinsohn.
I guess my thought is, I know what Tucker Ashcraft is as a tight end. He's fine. Like, I know what kind of player he is. He's fine.
Well, I think we decided he's not Jake Ferguson, obviously, but
Oh.
is he? How much would he play in a Bielema offense? In a Badger Bielema offense? Would he be a 3?
Like a 2 or 3. I guess my point is, I don't think he's a bad player, but I don't really know that Tucker Ashcraft is a plus player. None of these guys are pushing Tucker Ashcraft. Like, Koziol was clearly there to displace him a bit into a different role. That's not happening. I mean, I think if you want to be, Pete, if you want to be optimistic, it's the hope that Grant Steck sort of has got it figured out. Because I think that's where your upside is.
I thought of that this morning when I was kicking around ideas to talk about. Yeah, Steck was one that really kind of.
Maybe also Pete and I are looking at it in different ways. Like, what is your over-under on receptions for Lance Mason? Like, in your mind?
25.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was thinking 12. You think a guy like that? I mean, like.
Well, Grimes likes to use the tight end a lot. Yeah, I guess you're right. If Ashcraft is there.
Because you also were going to do something.
Yeah, 12 sounds more like it to me. I'm sorry.
Jackson Aker maybe gets, 18.
Sure.
Some carries.
What about Tyler Janze?
Well, I think Tyler Janze is the next Jackson Aker, is the idea. Because he's on my. You know what? Actually, here's a question. Let's jump a little bit. We'll jump around our agenda.
I didn't mean.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Actually.
It's organic, Max. It's organic. Yeah. See, I was just blasting through the mic there. I also, you know what else I forgot? I forgot my pop filters. Well,
I know. The sound quality is just going to be total.
No, but it's a good one to bring up. Like, what do you make of Tyler Janze? My thinking. He kind of fits the bill of the Jackson Akers, of the Riley Nowakowskis. It's like willing guy who coaches who they'll just find a place to put him on the team.
Mason Stockey was like that, wasn't
he? Great one. I mean, it's
but he started off as a linebacker. But
I'm not even worried about the linebacker side of it or the fullback / tight end side of it. It's more just like one of those guys who, Owen Arnett is that too. and he's never changed position. It's just like one of those guys
Sure.
that's clearly like coaches like them. They need them for special teams. They need to find a way to have them in the mix somewhere to keep them, I think, engaged.
Grover Bartolotti.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
there's
know. That's how you fill out your roster, man.
yes.
You
And I
know?
think it's a way to keep a 105 guy around,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like keep him engaged because he's been obviously kind of passed over at the inside.
He
So
has, and he's somebody that I could see. And obviously I don't know him or anything. Like, I don't know anything about him other than, he's from Batavia, in my neck of the woods here. And a lot of those guys wind up at Northern, and I'll bet he could go play pretty decent linebacker at Northern.
yeah,
Well, you said talk about keeping them engaged, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And other than that, a couple names I did want to sort of bring up.
Sure.
Some positive words about Daryl Peterson in his new hand in the dirt, almost defensive lineman role. A lot of talk of Mason Riger. I guess we could even say
That's what
hype.
we're going with. That's what we're going with.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the way players have described him as Riger. I think we called him Rieger before.
You did off air.
Max, we don't need to throw in accusations.
You did. I'm just saying. It wasn't even on air until you just said that.
Well, you did it. Are you like? I don't know.
Well,
This feels like John Pius again.
I don't know. It seems like he's not John Pius. I don't know. Were you excited like that about John Pius last year? I wasn't.
No, but John Pius got discussed a lot.
I wasn't excited about any of those guys last year.
And he was he was the first string guy. I mean, like, I hear these guys are still sort of like Sebastian Cheeks is still ahead of all of them. I know what he is. He can be fine. I don't think Sebastian Cheeks is going to be a superstar. He can be a plus player, even potentially. But they're all like, he's behind him. I know what Daryl Peterson is. Like, he's maybe a better fit in this role.
This year sure looks a lot bigger.
And he's just another guy they like because he's a buy-in guy. So,
Mhm.
but it's very interesting to me. Like, I feel there is minimal, like there isn't a ton of intrigue in the camp in terms of not like even in like I'm interested. I read it all. I follow it all. I watch the
Yes.
availabilities like I always do. Nothing there has
Me too.
changed for me.
Same with me.
Like I don't know that there's anything going on that one I have any kind of like visibility into that allows me to sort of be intrigued, if you will. I don't know what I'm exactly trying to articulate, but it's more like I feel like the things that would be intriguing about this team are very hard to communicate in media. Does that make sense? Trying to understand, what the different I think some of it is. I just feel like it's going to be a defense that's going to be really. Especially the defensive side. Like I'm not. I kind of think I get what the offense is, and it's people really like they're going to run the ball more thing, so they're just kind of letting that go, which is fine. The defensive side, the part that I'm sort of maybe trying to figure out an image of based on what we know is like it just sounds like it's going to be a very package heavy defense. Like it feels like it's going to be a lot of people to me. Like rather than that defense that's 20 guys or 22 guys, like this one feels like 25 to 30. And it's going to be far heavier rotationally on the defensive line, maybe just because they have more depth, but also like the way they're going to use different outside linebackers in different ways. Like the way they have guys lumped out there that I feel like I think a lot of that has to do with who's managing the rotation. Like I've been thinking about like, again, why are the 300-pound outside linebackers out there? And it's more about like those package rotations are generally managed by position coaches, right? So if you put those guys in position groups with those position coaches, they are then managing that rotation on game days type of thing. And, when you go dollar, well, I don't know. Michael Garner is the dollar edge guy. type of thing, or whatever the case
Sure.
might be. So then it's
Sure.
managed by, in that case, Matt Mitchell's got his edge guys. It's like much more case specific, beyond just your sort of traditional, say, nickel and heavier set type thing.
I like hockey lines almost. Not I don't mean like rotationally, but
Yeah.
hockey lines by package.
Yes. That's kind of the one thing, but that's very hard to communicate or get a sense of, other than drawing really, really tenuous inferences from availabilities and,
Yeah.
cross-referencing that with practices.
Right. I mean, unless you're there or can watch like the all 22 and all that stuff. Yeah, I would agree with you.
I guess what I was trying to say is, like, I feel like that would get picked up in media, and it hasn't been really mentioned, because I feel like some of that is going to be when they get closer to that first game week and they shut them out.
Well, now to that point too, I don't know how much of that, other than like a base defense, they would do in the first two games.
Yeah, but they're still going to be rotating. You're going to run a dollar package out there. You're going to run,
Yeah.
maybe formationally and personnel wise, I think you're going to see 80% of that. Hey, let's get to our second listener question here. Our friend Ed from Philly, who sent one in via Patreon, said 2 questions. First, I've been wondering about Longo and thinking optimistically he was a bad choice, and hoping we are better positioned by a significant amount this year by his departure. Putting aside the quarterback injuries, how bad was his offense? Relied on quarterback play, no motion, running game, non-describable, poor quarterback assessment. Could we have a huge offensive turnaround? Second question is about Tressel. Was the D so bad last year because of the lack of offense, or is he a below-average Big Ten coach? He has a lot of misses on personnel selection and strategy, small defensive line, linebacker play, etc., which leads me to, does Fickle have good judgment in his hires? Okay, 3 questions. All right, we'll summarize it this way. Are you expecting a big jump from the offense this year?
Well, I think that's what kind of everybody's looking for. You just don't know. I think you know what it's going to look like. You don't know how good it's going to be.
Do you think it's north of 30 points a game?
I would say yeah. Against
You
an
would?
average, no. Against an average schedule, I would say that. But
Okay.
yeah,
So like 26, 27, figuring they lose 3 or 4 points a game because of the
Sure.
schedule?
yeah.
Okay. Because they did what last year? 23, I think it was. 22 and a half. 22.6.
Mhm.
Sorry, here it is. They were 23 and a half and 23.
How many points a game last year did like Michigan give up? Ohio State.
I mean, Ohio State was 12 points a game.
Yeah. If it was against their normal average schedule, how good do you think Iowa and Illinois are going to be?
I mean, Illinois is poaching defensive linemen from the Badgers off one of the worst defensive lines that I've seen in a long time. So I don't have a very strong feeling about Illinois. I mean, it's weird. I guess like my thought is, yeah, I think you can probably, my basic premise has always been like, if they have just a decent running back, and it does sound like between Jones and Dupree, like they got a 1-2 thing there.
I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like those guys can be pretty good.
I mean, I don't know what they're. Yeah, I mean, I do feel like, okay, you've got enough there to be decent.
Yeah,
The
it's not
offensive
James
line-
White and Monty Ball, but
It's
you
good
know,
enough.
what isn't, right? Or what
Yeah.
is, you know?
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I mean, could it be Corey Clement and Dare type thing? Like, not in
Yeah,
terms of
sure.
roles,
There you go.
but production.
Mhm.
That'll cover up a lot of holes.
Yeah.
That'll solve a lot of your problems. So,
Agreed.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I go back to the whole urgency thing on that one, but whatever. Second question: what is your take on his thoughts on Tressel? Do you think Tressel is a below average coach?
I sure didn't before.
That was a past tense.
Yeah, I know, but I don't. I mean, if if you go by the old "you are what your record is," and
Mm-hmm.
it's not that good. But at the same time, it's not Oregon, Penn State last year. It's just hard to tell. Because I think it's different than Longo, but in either case, it's not like those guys forgot how to coach.
Yeah.
And Truss has been a part of some really, really, really good defenses, and he was the boss of them.
The difference for him, I do feel like the Longo problem was I don't know what the right word is, interpersonal, cultural, whatever, like the whole thing about, the urgency thing for me. It all goes
Sure.
back to that. I mean, it was why Bicknell didn't work, and then he was gone right after him. That didn't mesh with Fickle. I mean, it's probably plenty of blame to go around. Tressel is obviously his guy. I do wonder how much of the defense is Fickle versus Tressel
There's
because
that too.
Fickle's focus can be far more on the defensive side of the ball, though in the last few years he's definitely put his, finger on the scales, put his hand on the scales on the offensive side, whether it was the running back rotation when it's like it's Tui Walker and stop rotating 6 guys or, that kind of stuff. But I think Tressel is in the 80%. Like, I think people are looking at this, like maybe Ed is looking at this from the run of guys they had running the defense over a decade, and it kind
Sure.
of, you get a little pampered by it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think he's anything particularly special. But do I think he's like significantly, not good?
I did have one more thought on Trussell though, and you can tell me what you think of this, okay? Because obviously last season wasn't very good,
Okay.
and you had a lot of negative national perception. If somebody really wanted Tressel, we have an opening, we want a new coordinator. He was really good before. And maybe the thing is among the agents and among the coaches, like, he'll never get him away from Fickle. But if there would have been a time, wouldn't it have been last year?
I don't know if he's viewed quite the way maybe you're suggesting. I don't know if he has quite as much cachet. And like, I don't know if I don't know if he would be enough of like, he wouldn't be going to another Power 4 program. Like, he would have to be in a step down. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to get pulled by Penn State. Texas needs a defensive coordinator. Like, he's not fitting that bill. It would be him going to.
No, I don't think that. But Washington replaced their coordinator.
I don't even think that would be enough there.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking like Penn State or Texas. No, I'm not thinking that.
But what I'm saying is it has to be like a step down. Like, I don't know that would necessarily be the way I'd measure it, that, hey, people
Sure.
wanted him.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Fair enough. Yeah. Like I said, I was just throwing it out there.
Yeah. But to the third question, does Fickle have good judgment on his hires? I actually think on balance, especially position coaches, I actually feel like they have hit.
Yeah,
he has a type, so to speak, right? It's like he's dating.
Sure.
Like, he finds these guys who tend to be higher energy, good recruiters. I mean, I'd say Blazek, was his hire, obviously. I mean, there's no way to put to say anything other than that. That was his hire, and that seems like a hit. Jordan Reed seems like he's working perfectly well. I mean, Paul Haynes was an older guy that he brought in, that he has a prior relationship with, and I feel like their cornerbacks are perfectly functional. We don't have to worry about. I mean, Kenny Guyton seems like a winner. I'd say he's honestly probably above average on the position level. You can certainly. The Longo thing sort of throws the average.
That was a severe misstep.
Yeah, either way, it is what it is. It's a funny
misstep.
one. And then last thing before we go,
we have some camp observations as well from a listener.
Yeah. Oh,
So this is from Carl, listener Carl. He was able to go to the practice last week, Thursday morning. I think we might be in for a long season, as it didn't see much to tell me that a lot has changed, but it's hard to tell from this early in camp. Didn't see a lot of great passing plays, a lot of short dumps, and the quarterback holding the ball way too long. Carter Smith looked like a freshman, low throws. I did see Jaden Ballard make a nice leaping catch. Saw the kickers each go from different yardages angles. It looked like Lam hit all of his and has a stronger leg. Vacos may have missed one, but it's hard to tell with the angle. I thought the kickers had the easiest role on the team, but the long snappers are even easier.
Well, First off, I don't know if you're aware, people aren't allowed to report on the kicks. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh no, I did not. So we did like unauthorized reporting right there. I hope I didn't get Carl in trouble.
Well, they're going to ban him. But
I
Carl,
don't
give
know.
us exact numbers. I
These
want to be
people
able
are
to do it.
weird, man.
Like who? I don't get. I mean, I guess I've been wondering like what's the
Dude, we just
motivation
broke
there?
news, man.
Is it that like they don't want the guy who ends up making fewer kicks to get the job, and then they get criticized? Like I legit want to know.
I
what it
don't
is.
know. Yeah.
But it's kind of amusing. I'm kind of fascinated by the idea that they're going to try to redshirt one of those guys.
I lose the job, red shirt, me? No, man, I graduated. I'll see you later.
All right, and last thing, Steve in Portland sent us a note, said, I really liked the Tuscaloosa write-up. And for those of you who don't know, if you support this show on Patreon, Steve is referencing our friend Brian's write-up on his planned trip to Tuscaloosa.
That was great.
With low-resolution images that I have resized to make visible.
Yes.
Brian sent us pictures that were the size of a postage stamp, Brian. Just want you to know. But Brian was super nice, actually. No, it doesn't matter. I already took care of it. Brian was super nice and wrote up, he runs an elaborate tailgate, Max, which I think you can attest to.
He does. He runs the People's Tailgate in Madison.
Yes.
So.
And so he's planning a trip to Tuscaloosa, and he kind of wrote up his plans. And yeah, if you'd like to read about it, go read. It's fun. If you're a patron, go read it. It's worth it. I enjoy it.
And if you're going down there too, I mean, there's some intel and stuff.
Yeah,
as well,
which is legitimate work. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that was kind of the genesis of it, because I am going down there, and he and I have been texting back and forth, and he just keeps giving me updates and locations and stuff like that, or you can't go there. I don't know if you knew that. And I'm like, dude, you've been doing the Lord's work here. You gotta write it up. So he took me up on that, and I said, yeah, we'll put it out there. So entertaining and useful. That is our goal.
There's real work that has been done. But
yes.
So Steve mentioned that, but he said, so I really like the Tuscaloosa write-up, and I am going to the Oregon game and would like to meet up if anyone is interested. And I just wanted to say, Steve was like, how do I do this? I'm not on social media. And I say, here's what I'll do. If you are going to the Oregon game and you want to meet up with Steve, email the show. We'll connect you.
Yes.
Well, it's like we're like the Tinder of Badger diaspora.
Let's not get hasty, okay?
But Max, I have a mic where I can talk this. You see, like I can do this now, like anytime I want.
Remember the mic stand next time. You have to.
No, this is so much better.
I have to. I have to.
So Steve would like to meet up. That's the summary. Steve is looking for single Badger fans on the road.
He did not say, Rich, he did not say.
I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. There's no mic stand. I've been a disaster all night.
It's just good, clean tailgate and fun, folks. Okay?
Is that what we're calling it these days?
Good, clean tailgate and fun.
Good tailgating. Okay.
I don't know how much.
I think we got to end this.
Yeah, I don't know how much I helped there.
I really got to get it. I got to get this mic stand back. It'll bring me back. But yeah, so seriously.
I said, don't forget your stand again.
Yeah, Steve is a nice guy. We've known Steve for a long time.
It makes you get weird.
It really does.
Weirder than you already are.
I'm trying to dig myself out of the hole here, and I'm not doing a good job. But is there anything else from camp? Like camp is just it's chugging along. It's not a bad thing. It's just very
no, and I will say like it's just weird because you're coming off a bad season, and it's it's the uncharted territory. But I don't think there's been anything bad. And then, as far as what you can tell from the players and the coaches, I think they have like the same level of excitement that you've seen in the past. And I don't know, they just don't have all the juice around it that there usually is. So, 8-4 last year, 9-3. Oh, I think they're going to win 10 games this year.
Yeah.
So-and-so preseason All-American. I'm really looking forward. You don't have any of that, and Badger fans just not used to that. Just not used to that.
Yeah.
So it's different. And I just go back to what I said before too. Like if they're gonna if they're going to have a successful season, they're really going to have to do a lot of come out of nowhere, shock the world type of stuff, and you're going to have a Mason Rager type of guy come out and have 5 or 6 sacks, or there's going to have to be stuff like that. There's just going to have to be stuff like that.
Is it 1 or is it like 3? To your point, like 3 of those guys come out of nowhere. Is 1 enough?
Oh, I think you have to have multiple.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you go to the the Alvarez rule of 5 to win championships. Like, we're not there yet. I don't. You can't project that. I think that's obviously fantasy land. But you're going to have somebody like that. You're going to have Tretch Kekahuna. You're going to have Jalen Ballard, or what's his name? The guy from Hawaii,
Declan Crowdus.
And I'm not saying it's him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's more like a Tretch. It's more, or Dylan Jones or Darian Dupree. They have to be, 3rd, 4th team all Big Ten or something like that. You just have to have somebody that's multiple people that are gonna have to play at an all league level that you didn't see coming. And even if it's all league honorable mention, fine, but you gotta have that. And you just don't know where that's gonna come from. And what's even worse is if it will.
All right. I guess, Max, on that note,
I can't get you excited about it yet.
No, not that I'm unexcited, but I get the roadmap is there. The roadmap is there has to be some surprises, but I just don't know what the surprises are yet. I think I see I guess the way that I am more like, okay, you want to put a positive spin on this would be, I just think, look, if they have 2 decent running backs, it covers up a lot of issues. If they can find a decent rotation and not have just a really bad defensive line, that will cover up a lot of issues. Like, I do think they have talent at linebacker. Like, I do think they have I think the inside guys are decent. Like, I really do. I just think the defensive, they're not superstars, but I think the good players. Their defensive line last year was just not good and too thin and then tired. So, like, I don't think Ben Barton needs to play 40 snaps a game. And if they can do that, that helps them. And it's not a knock on Ben Barton. It's more like, I know what Ben Barton is, and then Ben Barton gets tired. And he's less Ben Barton. And
25 snaps, you get a plus guy.
Yes. Yeah. Like, then he's contributing. So, all right. On that note, that's a good summation of the show.
I think so. Well, we'll see what happens this week. So,
Max, until the next time.
Yes, indeed. Until the next time with a microphone stand.
I can't wait. Bye-bye, everyone.
Enjoy the conversation? Head on over to buckaroundpodcast.com to find all the ways to connect with the show, links to our Patreon page, and feeds for every major podcasting platform. We want to thank each and every one of our patrons. You make this podcast possible. This has been the Buck Around, Badger football analysis from a fan perspective.
But, yes, you need paper. This is an excellent interruption of the show, man.
Hi.
Well, you can talk to the world.
What's up?
What's up? I love it. What's up?